Hi, I'm Mike, owner of the In-Groove in Phoenix, Arizona. Today I'm going to do a new arrival video. This is for August 7th, 2020. Don't forget, all this stuff can be purchased online at our website at www.theingroove.com. First thing I want to do is go over a couple of pre-orders. Some really hot pre-orders coming out by the end of this year. The biggest was a series that was announced by Analog Productions of all analog, 33 RPM jazz titles. Two of them are already been available, and I announced them a couple of weeks back for pre-order. That is the Stan Getz Galbarto and the Louis Armstrong. It was two Verve titles. Next up, October 9th, are going to be the two biggest releases, audiophile releases probably of the year. John Coltrane's Love Supreme and John Coltrane's Ballads. Two Impulse titles. Then on November 6th, two Nina Simone titles. Put a Spell on You and Pastel Blues. Probably one of her most popular albums I sell today. It's got Sinnerman on it. Then November 20th, two titles. Let's see, Sarah Vaughan self-titled and a Clifford Brown Max Roach title. All four of those are available on the main page of the website. I can't say enough how big this John Coltrane release is going to be. Analog Productions did a 45 RPM version of that. It went out of print a couple of years ago. That's already a $400 record. And that's with a lot of people not even being a fan of 45 RPM records. You know, a lot of people don't mess around with 45 RPM records. Maybe their turntable doesn't play them. Maybe they just don't like having to flip the record over twice as much. But that record, as a 33 on the high quality tip-on jacket cover, all analog, by far and away is going to be the best-selling audiophile release of 2020. I have no doubt from what I've heard as far as releases go this year. I've got a ton of them coming in, but I would get a pre-order in before the actual arrival date, because that's one of those that I just don't think no matter how many they make, they're going to make enough. It's just going to be a title that it's going to come out, it's going to sell out immediately. They'll make more of them, but if you want to get the record within a timely fashion, you're going to end up paying twice the price on the, the open resale market. So if you're interested in the album, get your, at least for the Love Supreme, get your pre-order in on that. Also, I put a pre-order up for the Mobile Fidelity Run DMC SACD. The LP has actually been hugely successful, and my opinion is they're going to sell out of that probably when it comes out or before it comes out. So if that's something you're interested in getting, that Run DMC, God, I want to say that's been one of the best-selling pre-orders I've had. Get your order in for that. Johnny Cash, I Walk the Line, probably going to come out from what I hear, word on the street, by the end of this month. That is a 45 RPM, double disc, Mobile Fidelity. I believe it's limited too. I'd have to check the website on that. I think that wasn't an unlimited. They did 3,000 or 4,000 of them, but I don't remember off the top of my head. I announced the the SACD came out a few weeks ago. I showed it, but yeah, I think by the end of the month we'll have the LP. Pre-order for that is up. So last week, I showed the SACD of Harry Nilsson's Nilsson Schmielsen, and I mentioned in the video, I'm like, man, this is a fantastic album. I really hope they do this on vinyl. They should do this on vinyl. I got an email from Mobile Fidelity. Hey, Mike, it's coming out on vinyl. How many would you like? I was like, fantastic. They're only doing 4,000 of them. It's a great album. Yeah, Into the Fire, one of the absolute greatest rock tracks of all time on that record. That is available for pre-order. That's probably going to be closer to the end of the year, but they're doing 4,000 of them, and that is going to be available for pre-order. So I did a Q&A video here a couple of days ago, and there's some, I want to clarify one thing. So 8 o'clock in the morning, my time, which Arizona, for most of you probably don't know, doesn't observe daylight saving times. So half the year we're Mountain Time, half the year we're Pacific Time. But Arizona time, on Record Store Day, 8 o'clock, we will have the doors open and everything will be available to the locals. Record Store Day themselves have instituted a policy that you cannot no store anywhere in the world cannot sell records on their website until 1 p.m. Eastern time. I mentioned in that video 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock is the accurate time. Right now we are lined up with Pacific Standard Time. So what I said on the video is accurate. I had some emails, people saying, you know, you're breaking the rules. We're not breaking the rules. We're not Mountain Standard Time. We're Arizona time. 10 o'clock Arizona time, which is 1 o'clock Eastern. Everything will be available. That's remaining in the store, which should be a significant amount. I've ordered a huge amount of Record Store Day stuff, so a lot of the titles should still be available by 10 o'clock. You can shop from your living room and get everything, you know, still like everything else. $40 and above is free delivery. The only thing is, if you no discounts apply to Record Store Day. Everything else that if you got a discount on, that applies on the website, but not to Record Store Day time. But yeah, Record Store Day, 8 o'clock for the in-store locals, 10 o'clock Arizona time, 1 o'clock Eastern per Record Store Day guidelines. So the Q&A went over pretty good. The live event, we're going to do them once a month. I'm going to change it to the first Sunday every month at 5:20. So that's going to be, the format's going to change a little bit. It's going to be me and Angel. I kind of refine things to make it streamline a little better, answer questions a little better. Angel will actually be the one asking me the questions rather than me trying to answer questions and cipher through questions simultaneously, which was kind of a nightmare and somewhat confusing. So it'll be kind of a little bit better because it'll be more of like an interview to where she can ask the questions that you guys are asking me. And, you know, whatever kind of like news updates or whatnot, I'm going to talk about that in those videos as well. It was fun. I actually really enjoyed it. I was worried, you know, when I did the video, you know, I'm sitting there getting ready to hit the button to go live, and I'm like, oh my God, there's going to be like 3 people watching this. It's going to be a big failure, but it was successful. You guys liked it, so I'm going to keep doing it. All right, now for this week's new arrivals. I've got very few of these in, but a lot of people have said, hey, Mike, should I go online and buy this for 50 bucks? It's like, no, they're going to make more unless you've bought every record in the world that you ever plan on buying, and this is the last one to fill your collection forever. Don't buy it. Just wait till it comes out. They've already started coming out. Most of the order that I've got has been pre-sold because I never got my initial run. This is the all analog Neil Young homegrown. These were going for 50, 60 bucks on eBay. But I've got very, very few copies in. It is a few of them, like I said, available, but more than likely they'll be gone. But they're going to get restocked. Just hang on. They're coming. A restock from Sam Record. This is a great all analog 10-inch soundtrack, replicated tip-on jacket, really high quality record from Sam Record. This is actually a really cool soundtrack. Essentially, they hired Miles Davis to do the soundtrack. He sat there and played while he watched the movie, and this is what he came up with. But really a really good soundtrack. This is a record that has come back. It was quasi out of print there for a while, but they kind of reissued it. This is actually one of the few sampler records you can get that is really high quality. This is The Wonderful Sounds of Female Vocals by Analog Productions. They've done a Wonderful Sounds of Christmas, Wonderful Sound of Female Vocals, and it's been very successful for them. So they're actually doing the Wonderful Sounds of Male Vocals. That's coming out later this year. But this is mostly an analog record. This is kind of this was a record that was kind of created for the show circuit for high-end audiophile systems, so vendors can kind of show the capability of their systems. Typically, when you go to audiophile shows, the thing of choice, vinyl-wise, is always female vocals. Audiophiles love female vocals, and this is a comp of female vocalists. Some of this stuff was recorded originally digital, and it appears on this album digitally, but this is more or less a greatest hits of what Analog Productions has in the catalog. So you'll see Ella Fitzgerald, Julie London, Phoebe Snow, Dusty Springfield, Shelby Lynn, Ricky Lee Jones, Nina Simone, Patricia Barber. This is pretty much cuts from a lot of the albums that are in print that they make. It's a good way to start if you want to discover something new, maybe something you didn't, you know, oh, you never heard Patsy Cline. You get the record and you're like, oh, this is fantastic. Go out and you can buy the album. But this is a really good double disc sampler. Back in stock. So New Arrival just came out a couple days ago. This is the 45 RPM version of Bill Evans at the Montreux Jazz Festival. This is the double disc 45 RPM version. There is a 33 of this that's in print and in stock, and now there's a 45 to go with it. This is an album that Analog Productions did many moons ago that goes for a couple $100. But yeah, Rebecca Pigeon. I'm assuming I'm pronouncing that right, but I could be wrong. But yeah, double disc. This was a Chesky Records original. Yeah, this was Chesky originally in the 1994, but they've done this a repress on 45 RPM. I'm not actually familiar with the album. I will give it a listen. More new arrivals for this week. This is, might seem like a lame title to a lot of people, but Neil Diamond sells extremely well, and this is a greatest hits of Neil Diamond. This is kind of a long overdue record. I personally love Neil Diamond. I seen him on the last show that he played here in Phoenix before he retired. We had front row tickets. I splurged because I knew it would be kind of the end. It was comical. Me and Angel went. I don't think there was anybody within less than twice our age in that audience. But we were there. Neil Diamond came up to Angel right in the front row, and I forget what he was singing to at the time, but he was singing to Angel and pointing at her, and she got a kick out of that. Hot August Night, recorded live in concert. This is Hot August Night 2. One of his Hot August Night, one of the most legendary live concerts of all time. And that is the second one. This is actually a really hot release, the new Glass Animals. This is the Indie Store exclusive that comes on blue vinyl. This is actually pretty cool. This is a music on vinyl at the movies. This is a double disc set on translucent red vinyl, limited to 1,000, first time on vinyl. But this is essentially a comp of DC tunes. So, let's see. The Superman March from 1941. John Williams' theme from Superman. The New Adventures of Superman from 1966. The Lois and Clark New Adventures of Superman from the 90s. The Adventures of Superboy. I mean, Batman soundtracks. It's also got the classic Batman TV theme. So this is actually pretty cool. And comic book vinyl stuff always sells extremely well. I don't expect 1,000 of these to last very long because there are people, obviously, comic book collectors or superhero collectors that aren't record people whatsoever, and they buy this kind of stuff too. So it's kind of one of those crosses in the hobby there. Okay, so it's a weird, this is the kind of, right before Record Store Day is when you're going to get a weird release cycle. You're not going to get a lot of new big releases. You're going to get a lot of reissues, and that's kind of where we're at. So this is the Johnny Cash Greatest Hits Volume 2. Fantastic. Johnny Cash, love Johnny Cash. Folsom Prison Blues, Boy Named Sue, Hey Porter. This is a pretty popular reissue. This was Collective Soul, kind of their greatest hits comp. This was a Record Store Day exclusive a while back, and they finally put it in print as a normal in-stock record. New reissue from the Grateful Dead. Let's see. 50th anniversary remastered audio of the 1971 Oxomoxa. But yeah, there that is. Grateful Dead reissues, always very popular. This is D-Light. I'm pretty sure this is music on vinyl. I think this is just a new title for us. I don't think this is actually a new arrival this week. All right, so I think, again, Neil Diamond, I think they've done this Hot August Night. This was such a successful concert. Kind of like James Brown live at the Apollo. I think there's like 6 different James Brown live at the Apollo. The album was so iconic. It was so groundbreaking. He just kept going back to the Apollo and releasing albums. But this is from 2008. Newly remastered, first time on vinyl. Hot August Night, live in Madison Square Garden. I think the original was not at Madison Square Garden. This is actually a restock of an album that I've been wanting myself. This is Hugh Masekela and Tony Allen, Rejoice. I think Hugh's last album. Fish, The Baker's Dozen, live at Madison Square Garden. This is a 6 LP box set, and I want to say it's like on some sort of splatter vinyl. Rolling Blackouts, Sideways to the New Italy. Now this, I showed a couple of weeks ago, the Mark Lanigan, they did like a clear vinyl indie exclusive. This is the standard vinyl. Clear vinyl indie exclusive, sold out. Hiroshi Yamashura. This is from Light in the Attic. This is a ambient album. I am not familiar with this. But yeah, Light in the Attic. Cool because, of course, they replicated an Obi. So Fiona Apple, Fetch the Bolt Cutters. This is the standard black vinyl version. I showed the indie exclusive a couple weeks ago. Those are sold out and out of print. We are now on to the standard edition black vinyl. Johnny Cash, Greatest Hits, Volume 1. So Volume 1 and Volume 2 kind of came out this week. Pride and Glory. First, not familiar what this is. Let's see. In My Time of Dying. Led Zeppelin cover. Come Together. Beatles cover. The Wizard. Black Sabbath cover. Huh. Looks interesting. I might have to give that a spin. Another release from Culture Factory. I've talked about this a few times. They do these like limited runs of albums. And they do them super limited. So this is 2000 Rare Earth Ecology on green vinyl. Typically these sell out right away and I'm never able to reorder them. They did Blue Oyster Cult. They did a lot of these over the years. Classic Johnny Cash album, live at San Quentin. Laura, what is this? Laura Marling. This is, it looks like an indie store exclusive, limited edition marble vinyl. All right, guys, that's it. Again, there's not going to be a ton of stuff for the next couple of weeks because the end of the month, for the first Record Store Day drop, it's somewhere around 200 new arrivals. So always the weeks leading up to Record Store Day, it kind of thins out. But don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Click the bell notification icons for when new videos get posted online. You'll be alerted. Until next time.